Welcome to the Lost World Minute, the minute-by-minute podcast reviewing the 1997 sequel Jurassic Park, 1 minute at a time. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And this episode we're talking about minute 14 of The Lost World. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man, good. Been busy, but always great to sit down and discuss The Lost World.
Yep.
Going to be a bit of a short one this time. We're a bit time heavy, so we're going to go straight into minute 14. Ready to go, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's do it. As the 13th minute of The Lost World ended, Ian Malcolm discovered that his girlfriend Sarah Harding is already on Isla Sorna, and that she went without telling him. As the 14th minute of The Lost World opens, John Hammond says the others are meeting here in 3 days. At 13 minutes and 10 seconds, Ian Malcolm slowly sits down at Hammond's desk, stunned, and asks, "You sent my girlfriend to this island alone?" At 13 minutes 15 seconds, John Hammond picks up a glass of water and begins to walk across to where Malcolm is sitting. Scent is hardly the word, she couldn't be restrained, and that she was already working at San Diego, doing some research at an animal park, and it's only a couple hours flight from there. At 13 minutes and 36 seconds, Hammond tells Malcolm that after the incident in the park, she sought him out, flew all the way down to Costa Rica to ask someone she didn't know whether the rumours were true. At 13 minutes and 48 seconds, Malcolm gets aggressive and says, "If you want to leave your name on something, fine, but stop doing it on other people's headstones." At 13 minutes and 54 seconds, Malcolm gets up from the table and begins to walk towards the door, Hammond assuring him that she'll be fine, and she's spent years studying African predators, sleeping downwind and all that kind of stuff, and that she knows what she's doing. And this ends the 14th minute of The Lost World. I love the piano theme here that's playing in the background.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
We haven't talked a lot about the score since the early minutes where we get the approach to the island, but I don't know if I prefer this more than the Jurassic Park score. I don't know, they're two completely different things, and they just love them both.
They're two totally different animals, but that's what I love about them, is that they're both so unique. The Lost World doesn't rehash the first movie score, and so you get two unique and wonderful scores.
Yeah, I think there's 3 callbacks to the original Jurassic Park theme. We get one here in the next minute, and then we get 2 more later on when we get to Site B, but it's just subtle. Or this one's probably the most bombastic of them all, just after Malcolm says it's a rescue operation, it's leaving right now. Just bringing back that fanfare again. But,
I always love to hear that fanfare in this movie, because you kind of get the best of both worlds with this movie score. You get callbacks to the first movie, but then you also get the jungle bongo drum theme that is the Lost World.
And you can only imagine John Williams, when he went to do the score, just always sort of the orchestral thing he's done before, and just in the orchestra saying, "Well, we don't need violins, we don't need all this stuff, we need drums and trumpets or trombones." It would have been. I reckon he would have had fun doing it as well. So something different. We get Malcolm telling Hammond, "You sent me girlfriend to the island alone," and Hammond starts sort of retelling some of the conversation he had with her. Scent was hardly the word, she couldn't be restrained once she found out about it. Wanted to go, and she wanted to make the initial discovery by herself. Well, we know what she's going to find. She didn't know, but...
Yeah, I actually wrote a fan fiction about Sarah's first couple of days on the island, and her discovering the dinosaurs and doing kind of all the things that we hear her doing but never see her doing. So I always kind of thought it was fun to just kind of imagine the reaction a paleobiologist would have to seeing a dinosaur alive for the first time ever.
Yeah, definitely. I
got myself in happiness.
Yeah, we got that shot with Alan and Ellie with the brachiosaur scene in Jurassic Park, sort of those that have spent so much time devoted to the science and the study of dinosaurs, actually seeing one live. It's sort of something that's missing from The Lost World. Just the
Yeah,
awe.
but I think that it wasn't really necessary for this film. This film really isn't about the awe of the dinosaurs. It's about the terror that they can provide. You know?
Yeah, I suppose we at this point we know that everyone going to the island knows exactly what they're going to see, even if they don't necessarily believe it with Eddie and Nick. But we get an interesting little bit of little thing here from John saying that after the incident in the park, she sought Malcolm out and then went all the way down to the hospital in Costa Rica to see if the rumours were true.
Now that's something that was from the book too. Was Sarah Harding searching and hunting down Ian Malcolm? I can't remember if they ever actually were a couple in the book. I think it was kind of hinted at, but never explicitly stated. But in the book, that relationship was still very much there. But where Sarah Harding obsessively searching for rumors about dinosaurs in Costa Rica.
Yeah, from memory, so all this stuff's cut out from the audiobook. So, and I haven't actually sat down to read the book in a long time, but I'm pretty sure they were together, but Ian wouldn't take the next step. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's something like that. Whereas she was interested in him, but he was sort of still crotchety and sort of distant after what happened in the park.
He was a very much more changed man.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that in the novel, or I mean in the movie too, where his humor got a lot more drier and more sarcastic.
Yeah, especially with all these new people who team up with sort of ignorant to the dinosaurs and the danger. Just even here now, Hammond sending in a team to document without, as we perceive, any protection.
The original script, it was actually even worse. A lot of people say, dislike how this movie is so dry and humorless, but in the script, Ian Malcolm is literally gets shaken and slapped by Roland Tembo because he's just going on this nihilistic rant about how life is pointless and they all are gonna die and humanity is worthless, and the rest of the people around him just stop and are gaping at him.
Well, that's interesting because that's sort of one of the not major plot points, but one of the plot points in the novel. He injures his leg again in the RV or the trailer sequence, and he's doped up on morphine the rest of the novel, and he does a lot of that sort of hallucinating and saying how it's pointless and everything else. But but it's interesting on the Sarah side of things. So she went to Costa Rica to search him out. He was still in hospital. We know, I think in the novel, he's in hospital for about 6 months or something while his leg was getting fixed. And it was nearly amputated, but by that time, rumours got back to the mainland America that something happened on an island down there with dinosaurs in a park. It's hard to. InGen would have been trying to cover it up the best they could.
InGen went belly up after Jurassic Park and the novels. So they sold up everything, and that's where the character Levine, who was kind of morphed into Sarah Harding's character in the movie. The character Sarah Harding and Richard Levine were morphed into one kind of singular character, and so you kind of get this idea where Levine is obsessively searching for InGen's secret island. And that's how we get onto the island in the book, as he is still a rescue mission for not a research expedition, which it was originally intended to be, but they goes to rescue Levine, not Sarah.
Yeah, during the sell-up post Jurassic Park or the incident, he purchases an X computer, one of InGen's old computers, and manages to bring up deleted files off it. But which I suppose in a movie sense, we couldn't have 20 minutes of a cast standing behind a computer trying to grab files off it. So it's sort of changed a bit for the movie. But
Yeah, actually, I think that's something that this movie does better than the novel. Is it gets you on the island quicker.
yeah,
It's too quick as to deny exposition, but it doesn't. And the movie, the first movie did this a lot better too than the books, where it gets you on the island quicker than versus almost halfway through the book.
Yeah, well, getting rid of that whole animals in Costa Rica subplot sort of just got you to the island a lot quicker in Jurassic Park. Same thing here, a lot of Richard Levine going around Costa Rica looking at a carcass that's washed up, and again, the theory that animals are getting off the island and getting to Costa Rica.
There's always a subplot that Crichton, I always felt like he wanted to get into, but the stories he wanted to tell just never allowed for it to go any further than where he went with it. So I always hope that we get a Jurassic Park sequel with dinosaurs on the mainland, just to see that kind of side of Jurassic Park that Crichton never quite got to.
Yeah, and we also got in the novel that Sarah spent those months by Malcolm's bedside. It's sort of implied here that she spent time next to his bed down there as well, and that's where they sort of met and started getting in a relationship, which again, if that's the case, then he's stopped womanising and he's been with Sarah since 93, 94. And it sort of invokes a little bit of rage here where he says, if you want to put your name on something, go ahead, but stop putting it on other people's headstones. I don't think there's going to be a body that come back to bury to put a headstone up.
Well, that's what Hammond says later. You wouldn't come back to me in 5 or 6 days. You come back to me in 5 or 6 pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. And and the minute just ends with Hammond sort of trying to justify all this by saying how she was going on about sleeping downwind and how she'd studied African predators and all that. So setting Sarah up to be capable and not so much damsel in distress, which the franchise up until this point hasn't really had, which is good. Ellie was good and strong in Jurassic Park. She wasn't that damsel. So.
Yeah. That's something that I never really cared for in the movie, was they kind of create this damsel in distress character out of Sarah, where in the novel she's anything but. She saves Malcolm from the trailers, not the other way around.
Yeah, that whole scene, she's got Malcolm over her shoulder, carrying her, climbing up the undercarriage of the trailer as it's hanging off the cliff. Yeah, lot stronger. One could say almost a Sarah Connor stronger.
Yeah.
Just, she's like, and I suppose in the novel you do have more time to sort of flush out a character. She's a lot more. There's a lot more one-on-one between her and animals in the novel, or dinosaurs, using her knowledge of the African predators to evade the raptors and stuff like that. Plus the sort of growing tension towards the end of the novel where they're stuck in the gas station in the worker village and dawn's approaching. They'd just seen the Carnotaurus on the tennis court and the raptors waiting at the outskirts of the town for daybreak. But no, it's definitely written a lot better in the novel.
And that's something we got to talk about when we get to it, is the Carnotaurus. Because that is something I'd love to see in another Jurassic Park movie.
There's some great concept. I don't think it's concept. I think it's fan art off DeviantArt or something of the Carnotaur on the tennis court.
Yeah, there is.
It just I would have loved to see that. And yes, okay, we sort of got it in Jurassic World with the Indominus camouflaging out of the jungle, but
we really only get the one quick shot of it in the movie, and it was just such a big part in the novel that you almost feel kind of cheated.
Yeah, I think it's more so from my side too, of just seeing more of the worker village with the Carnotaurus in it. So, all right, if that's all we got to discuss for minute 14, we'll get out of here and we'll be back next week with minute 15.
All right, sounds good.
Well, half an hour from now, John Hammond's dream, reimagined, will come true. For 1/100th the cost of building a destination resort thousands of miles away.
I believe I've spent enough time in the company of death.
All right, guys. Let's get the hell out of here.
What's everybody looking for?
Tonight we'll christen Jurassic Park San Diego with a mega attraction that will drive turnstile numbers out of any theme park.
Sight beams to be a theme park, but a research station. This was where we did the real work.
What do you think you were going to document? What do you think you were going to see?
It is absolutely imperative that we work with the Costa Rican Department of Biological Preserves to establish a set of rules for the preservation and isolation of that island. These creatures require our absence to survive, not our help. And if we could only step aside and trust in nature, life